The Gilded Age, an era where America grew as a nation. On today's History Channel documentary, we will be discussing one of the biggest, both literal and figurative parts of the Gilded Age, urbanization.
I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you, you never need.
One large reason behind the urban boom would point towards rapid immigration in the time. Civil wars and persecution prompted many Southern and Eastern Europeans to flee their homelands in search of better lives in America between the 1880s and 1920s, in large part due to propaganda showing America as a sanctuary. During these years, approximately 1 million immigrants from Italy, Greece, Russia, Poland, and other countries arrived in eastern U.S. cities every year. The urban explosion contributed significantly to the rise of powerful political machines that became synonymous with the Gilded Age. Political bosses like William Boss Tweed in New York City accumulated power and wealth by preying on insecure immigrants living in the city's poorest slums. In exchange for their votes, bosses promised to provide social services, new public projects, and even physical protection. These machines grew incredibly powerful well into the 20th century and came to dominate local politics and even influence national politics. Nearly every U.S. president between Grant and Truman could trace their roots back to these machines. In 1870, there were only 2 American cities with a population of more than 500,000, but by 1900 there were 6. 3 of these, New York, Chicago, and Philadelphia, had more than 1 million inhabitants. Roughly 40% of Americans lived in cities, and the number was climbing. These large city populations caused crime rates to rise and disease to spread rapidly as a result of unsanitary living conditions. Diseases such as cholera, dysentery, typhoid fever struck urban areas with increasing frequency. Cities responded by paving streets, digging sewers, sanitizing water, constructing houses, and creating transportation systems. Not only did urbanization cause cities to grow in population, but it also caused buildings to grow higher and higher. Skyscrapers were being built in the cities, and the idea of mass transit had begun to take root. Mass transit systems allow people to commute to work from farther distances. Suburbs were beginning to form as upper-class families began to move out of the overcrowded cities. The shift in population from the countryside to the cities also changed the way presidential candidates campaigned, as demonstrated by William McKinley's victory over William Jennings Bryan in 1896. McKinley was able to secure the urban vote, which led to his victory, whereas Bryan wrongly assumed that the majority of voting public was still in America's countryside. The economy benefited greatly from the influx of immigrants and farmhands to the city. Factory owners especially benefited from immigrants from Southern and Eastern Europe who, eager to make a new start in America, often worked inhumane hours for meager pays and rarely threatened to unionize. The availability of such cheap labor contributed to the economic boom during the Gilded Age and throughout the early 20th century. The urban explosion, furthermore, contributed to the growth of a distinctive class in America, the middle class. Not rich, but not poor either, in the Goldilocks zone. A growing number of Americans could afford to live comfortably and enjoy the modern conveniences of the Gilded Age life. The increasing number of middle-class women led to the reform movement of the late 19th century. Many women strove to eliminate poverty and right other social wrongs such as drinking, prostitution, and gambling. Jane Addams, Lillian Wald, and other women founded settlement houses in urban slums to help immigrants improve their lives in the New World. So, in conclusion, when you drive by the skyline of the city you live in or near, just know all this was possible due to the Gilded Age.
But long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be